Hey y'all, Mark Montagna here, your host of the Wi-Fi Capitalist. Today we are going to be talking about learning. So first off, what is learning? I'm just going to go ahead and read the definition here from Oxford Dictionary. The acquisition of knowledge or skills through experience, study, or by being taught. Again, learning. The acquisition of knowledge or skills through experience, study, or by being taught. Now, why am I talking about learning today and why is this relevant? I got two quotes here for you today. The first one is anyone who stops learning is old, whether at 20 or 80. Anyone keeps who keeps learning stays young. The greatest thing in life is to keep your mind young. I'm going to read that one more time for you. Anyone who stops learning is old, whether at 20 or 80. Anyone who keeps learning stays young. The greatest thing in life is to keep your mind young. And the second quote I have for you today is from Benjamin Franklin. I'm not sure where that first one came from. I know it's from a book that I read a while ago. I'll have to find that and put that in the comments for you. But the second quote is from Ben Franklin. Some people die at 25 and aren't buried until 75. So again, why is this relevant? What is learning and why am I talking about this today? Well, most of our young, our childhood growing up, we are told to go to school. We go to school. We start, in preschool maybe at 2 or 3, if there is preschooling. Then we go to kindergarten through 12th grade. And when we're 18, we get to decide if we want to continue on the learning process through college or through a trade school that's a more specialized learning of skills. We can go to the military, we can join the military, or we can go out and find a job. And any of which of those options that we choose, there's an initial learning curve, and then we have a basic understanding of what's going on, and we say, okay, I'm good. Let me take my foot off the gas, pump back a little bit, and put it in cruise control. And that learning ceases. It doesn't exist anymore. Again, we get a basic understanding of what we need to do to survive, and that's it. We stop learning. But why should we be learning? Why should we be continuing on our process of learning post-college, we found a great job, in the military, whatever it may be? Why should we continue to learn? Well, in basic, as short as I can keep this, learning is growing. And if we're not learning, that means we're stagnant. And if we're stagnant, that means we're dying. I don't like to say it like that, but if we're not learning, we're stagnant, and stagnant turns out to be a faster way to die, honestly. And there's a lot of people that what you'll notice too, when you stop learning, you have memory loss. We get things like dementia and Alzheimer's as we grow older because we've stopped that learning process. We watch mindless TV day in and day out, and it doesn't challenge our brain. It doesn't make us, think critically. It doesn't provide us any real value. Our mind, our brain is the biggest muscle that we have to flex. And there comes a point in time, as Ben Franklin said, where we just tend to stop learning and we don't flex that muscle anymore. And there are consequences to cease learning. And that stems from a few things. A lot of times, whether we're in the classroom growing up, or at our jobs or whatever it may be, why don't we raise our hand? Why don't we speak up and say something? Well, most of the time we're embarrassed that we don't know what it is that is being talked about. And we feel lesser or, not as smart as our other peers around us, and that's embarrassing. We don't like to feel embarrassed or, that we're not worthy or we're lesser than, our peers our friends and colleagues around us. So what's the first step to learning? Well, first you have to find humility. You have to understand what you don't know. Basically, you have to know what you don't know. And that's the first step to realizing where you have the ability to learn and grow. Again, humility. Once you have humility, you can understand what direction you need to go in, where to seek out that knowledge so that you can start to learn more and grow. Everybody, in my opinion, should be a student of life. We should be studying all aspects of life, whether it's finances, health, um, it could be sales, marketing, personal development. I mean, everything we should be learning should be based around personal development, in my honest opinion here. Um, but we should always be learning. Again, if you're not learning, you're stagnant and you're dying. Um, there's plenty of things to learn about, so if you don't know or if you have questions on what you should be learning about, feel free to message me. I'll be more than happy to have an open conversation with you. But for those of you who have always wanted to learn something or get into a different field, but you just don't know where to really get started, or you found somebody that you thought you knew a lot more about and somebody else came along and they seem to know a lot more than you, please put that in the comments below. I want to know what you want to know more about and see if there's any additional ways I can help. Well, thank you for your time today. I really appreciate it. Godspeed.